up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maddison Hill, and yes, it's time for another pop-off with Maddison. For today's pop-off, you guys, I'm going to be talking about Taylor Swift and Matty Healy because there are some serious tea-filled updates that we need to discuss. So first of all, you guys, Matty Healy finally addressed all of the controversial comments he made during a podcast interview back in February. I'm talking about the comments he made about Ice Spice and also the adult films that he enjoys. He finally addressed all of this during a profile with the New Yorker, so I need to fill you guys on his response because honestly, I'm not really feeling it. In addition to that, you guys, he was also on stage this past weekend and subtly, but also not so subtly addressed his relationship with Taylor Swift, so I'm also going to fill you in on that. And also because I'm sure you guys are like me and wondering how the heck does Taylor Swift feel about all of this, and it's a little surprising to me, you guys, but she is definitely still feeling Matty Healy. We have a new report from Us Magazine stating that Taylor Swift is happier than she's been in a long time, and I honestly don't know how I feel, which is exactly why I want to talk about this with you guys. But first, because this is the first pop-off of the week, you know, I have to check in and see how the House of Hill is doing, so let me know how you are, what you've been up to, all of that good stuff down below. Me personally, I had a really chill long weekend, spent some time with friends, went out to dinner, tried a new workout class because I've been feeling so poofy, you guys. I also hung out with my family, ate a lot of delicious food, which I know sounds like a contradiction because I just said I'm feeling poofy, but my parents are literally some of the best cooks, and I can never deny. I can never deny when my dad makes ribs and homemade Kansas City barbecue. Like, how am I not supposed to indulge in that? But anyway, you guys, it was a really nice weekend. Also, I wanted to remind you, because this is going to be the second week in a row now that we do this, tomorrow I will be going live for our happy hour hang at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. So if you are around tomorrow at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time, definitely make sure you tune into my channel. We did our first happy hour hang last week. I just kind of did it on a whim. It's something I've been wanting to do, but I haven't because I was so nervous about whether or not it would be perfect, if you guys would like it, if people would show up. But I definitely heard you guys. We want a live, so I will be going live again tomorrow at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. I love connecting with you guys in real time, or if you watch it afterwards, whatever you have time to do. It's just something really fun, and after last week, I realized that's something that I've really been missing. So I'm happy that we're gonna keep doing the lives. I will see you all tomorrow, but in the meantime, because I know you straight to the tea people are like, Maddison, this intro is dragging, and we need to get to this Taylor Swift and Matty Healy tea, and you're not wrong. So go ahead and put this time code down there in the comments to help out your fellow straight to the tea people. And now let's get to unwrapping these Taylor Swift and Matty Healy facts. Alright, so for those of you who need a little quick refresher, Taylor Swift and Matty Healy have been romantically linked for a few weeks now. They did date several years ago briefly, but the timing didn't work out. They've obviously rekindled that since Taylor Swift ended her 6-year relationship with Joe Alwyn. Now, obviously, when you start dating one of the biggest artists of our generation, you guys know I'm a Swiftie. If you hate Taylor Swift, then let me just tell you, I'm gonna annoy you. I know it. So let me just once again go ahead and make it clear, I am a Taylor Swift fan. Anyway, you guys, obviously, once you start dating one of the biggest artists, there is a huge spotlight on you and all of the things that you have said previously, currently, you get it. There is just a newfound spotlight on your life. And therefore, some of Matty Healy's previous questionable comments have been resurfacing, mainly some comments he made on the Adam Friedland show, first up about the rapper Ice Spice. Now, while Matty Healy was talking to his friend Adam Friedland on this podcast and Nick Mullen, the guys kind of began making fun of Ice Spice. Essentially, they were mocking her ethnicity, her nationality. They didn't understand why she was so popular. They started mocking Chinese and Hawaiian accents. The clip of this podcast is all over social media. It's honestly terrible. It's really bad. There's no other way to spin it. It was ick. Also, you guys, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this is the same podcast where Matty Healy also made comments about what kind of adult film content he enjoys, and the content that he was describing was adult content that involved the degradation of women, specifically women of color. I'm sorry, you guys. I just find that whole thing incredibly appalling, and it makes me incredibly uncomfortable. Now, it is worth noting that Matty Healy did somewhat address his comments that he made about Ice Spice. He did kind of offer her an apology on stage once his comments about her started gaining traction. And while he was on stage, he said that he didn't want Ice Spice to think that he's a He said that he loved her. He kind of offered her a little bit of praise. However, he never addressed the comments he made again about this adult film content that he tends to favor. And I feel like people have been looking for Matty Healy to address these controversial comments he made on this podcast, especially because obviously he's now linked to Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is usually someone who speaks out against all of these things that Matty Healy has said. So people have been really looking for him to address these comments. And he finally did. He sat down for a profile with the New Yorker where he explained that the podcast was an opportunity to sit down and talk with friends as opposed to the other promo that he's been doing for the tour that the 1975 is going on. And when he was asked if he, quote, baited his fans on purpose, aka said controversial things on purpose, Matty responded saying, quote, a little bit. He went on to say, quote, but it doesn't actually matter. Nobody's sitting there at night slumped at their computer and their boyfriend comes over and goes, what's wrong, darling? And they go, it's just this thing with Matty Healy. That doesn't happen. Then honestly, shout out to the interviewer, shout out to the journalist, because he kind of doubled down pushing Matty Healy to really respond to this, saying, but maybe it does. You know, maybe your comments do freaking matter, to which Matty Healy responded saying, quote, if it does, you're either deluded or you are, sorry, a liar. You're either lying that you are hurt or you're a bit mental for being hurt. It's just people going, oh, there's a bad thing over there. Let me get as close to it as possible so you can see how good I am. And I kind of want them to do that because they're demonstrating something so base level. As you can probably tell, Matty Healy is a huge fan of deflection. At least that's kind of the interpretation I get from that response, which was also put on display this past weekend when him and the 1975s were playing a show in Scotland. He kind of alluded to the fact that he was dating Taylor Swift. He kind of alluded to their relationship. While he was on stage, Matty told the crowd that he didn't have any plans to address any burning questions that night, saying, quote, is it all a bit? Is it sincere? Will he ever address it? All of these questions and more will be ignored in the next hour. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 1975. Now, as I also briefly mentioned at the beginning of this video, all of these controversies surrounding Matty Healy don't seem to be affecting Taylor's feelings for Matty Healy, which again kind of surprised me. You guys, we have this new report from Us Magazine where a source shared that Taylor has been spending much more time with Matty and that she's, quote, getting to like him the more she gets to know him. Obviously, the source addressed the claim that Taylor and Matty did date previously. However, the source said that that was so long ago and Taylor reportedly feels like she's learning new things about him all over again. This insider then went on to say that Taylor is, quote, happier than she's been in a long time, followed by, quote, things between them are fairly new, so it's hard to tell if they'll go the distance, but he makes Taylor really happy and she wants to be with him whenever she has the chance. Okay, so obviously that's a lot, and obviously I have a lot of feelings about all of this, and because you guys, my stomach is still just unwell over all of the delicious things that I ate this past weekend, and I do have a massage later today. Shout out to my sister and her boyfriend who gifted me this massage for my birthday. I'm finally getting around to using it, but I definitely want to not drink any shams right now in an effort to get my stomach under control before I have to lay on it for an hour, because I feel like that could be a potentially sticky situation. Sorry for the TMI. So instead, you guys, I'm gonna pop a different kind of bubbly, which I feel like will actually be great for my stomach right now. And then let's go ahead and make this pop-up official. Okay, so if you guys watched my live last week, you know that I've really been struggling when it comes to my feelings in regards to Taylor Swift and Matty Healy. Now, I will say, based on Taylor's new songs that she recently released on the Midnights Till Dawn edition, I'm talking about Hits Different and You're Losing Me, I will say it's now abundantly clear that her and Joe Alwyn did not have a good relationship towards the end. Obviously, I was under the impression that these two were living a fairy tale. I was under the impression that Taylor had finally found her person, but clearly when you listen to those new songs that she just released, that is not the case at all. There were definitely some major cracks in the foundation before the breakup was announced, before we were all privy to know that there were issues in the relationship. I will say those new songs have given me a new understanding of where Taylor and Joe were, which does help me understand a little bit more how she can be so head over heels for Matty Healy in this moment, because initially I was like, I don't believe that Taylor Swift could really be wanting to, see where something is going with someone someone new, be so public with someone new, be so obsessed with someone new so quickly after she just ended a very serious 6-year relationship. But now, after hearing those songs and hearing where she was mentally at towards the end of the relationship, I now kind of understand why she is being pulled towards Matty Healy and why he is so appealing to her. However, just because I understand why she is attracted to him and I understand why she wants to explore this, doesn't necessarily mean I'm happy about this whole Taylor Swift and Matty Healy situation. As a fan, do I love hearing that Taylor Swift is happier than she's been in a long time? Of course. As a fan, do I love hearing that Taylor Swift, likes Matty Healy so much that she wants to spend as much time with him any chance she gets? Of course. Clearly she's falling for this guy. Clearly she's in a good place. Clearly she is where she needs to be right now. And as a fan, I am happy for her. However, I would be lying if I said that Matty Healy's comments that he made don't concern me, because they absolutely 1000% concern me. And honestly, you guys, I also find his response to these controversial comments unacceptable. The things that he said on that podcast, I cannot express enough how much of a freaking ick they gave me. I totally get that he wants to bait his fans. I totally get that he wants to say controversial things to kind of push boundaries and see where people are gonna go. I'm not that kind of person, but I guess I can understand that maybe that's his shtick. But why do we have to, bait fans and push boundaries by tearing other women down? And also admitting that you get pleasure from seeing other women degraded. I'm sorry, that's just not an okay thing for me. And to sit up there and say that your comments don't matter also really bothers me. Because at the end of the day, Matty Healy does have a platform, so anything he does say and put out to the public freaking matters. And I understand he thinks people are lying when, they say they are personally offended by his comments. I understand that, because he's saying, well, you're not Ice Spice. Well, you're not one of the women in these videos that I watch. So why are you personally offended? You're lying to yourself that you're personally offended. I understand that's his prerogative, and he obviously has every right to feel that way. But I personally don't think people are pointing out his controversial comments because they want to feel better about themselves than Matty Healy. I think people are pointing out his controversial comments because people cannot believe that those words are coming out of somebody's mouth who has a platform. Because truthfully, I think people cannot believe that this man is trying to get away from the situation unscathed when people have been absolutely destroyed for saying a lot less. He can pretend that, he's smarter than all of us and saying controversial things to bait people and make them take a bigger look at themselves, but I honestly find that to be a complete BS. Just admit that you effed up, you said some really effed up things, now your attention's being brought to how effed up it is, and you're not gonna say something like that again. Because it is absolutely so freaking cringy that you are on record bashing a woman who your now girlfriend is working with, collaborating with, and bringing up on stage. Now, I do know multiple people have confirmed that Taylor Swift had this collaboration with Ice Spice in the works pre-Matty Healy. I think that's awesome, but I still don't think the optics are good, and it pains me to say this because you guys know I love Taylor Swift, but it is not good on the outside looking in to see Taylor Swift, collaborating with this woman who her boyfriend, who she's happier than ever with, was bashing just a few months prior. It does not look good. It looks like Taylor Swift is trying to come in and clean up the situation and put a band-aid on the situation, even though I don't think that's what she is trying to do. I think she really loves Ice Spice. I think she's a fan of Ice Spice. I think she wanted to work with Ice Spice. I think all of those feelings were genuine. However, this just gives Taylor Swift critics so much fuel to say, oh look, Taylor Swift thinks that she can just put a band-aid on her boyfriend's controversial comments. And it kills me. You guys know, I love Taylor Swift. I want the best for her, but I don't know. This Matty Healy situation is giving me pause. And Matty Healy fans, please let me know if I'm completely off on this guy and I'm reading him wrong, because obviously I haven't been following Matty Healy's career forever. I'm not a huge 1975 fan. So if this is who Matty Healy is, and if he doesn't mean anything by these comments, and I'm taking this completely out of context, please educate me. Please let me know. I love having conversations with you guys in the comments. Obviously do so respectfully, but I feel like I don't have to tell the House of Hill that. You guys know that. But I just want to be educated on Matty Healy, because I can't tell if this guy is actually a questionable person or if this is just his shtick, this is what he does, and maybe a lot of us aren't understanding it and aren't getting it. Like, what is his deal? Because from the outside looking in, again, it's giving me pause. I'm not loving it. I'm not loving this for my girl. But if I'm wrong, please educate me. Let me know. And on that note, I also want to know what the rest of y'all think think about this Taylor Swift and Maddie situation and these updates that I gave you guys. Let me know all your thoughts and feels down below. While you guys are at it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget that notification bell. For more content, make sure you guys follow me over on Instagram and TikTok. If you guys could go like, comment, share all the things on my latest TikTok. I got to work with a really cool network and I would really appreciate it if y'all went and showed it some love. Also, you guys don't forget to keep coming back here to check out my YouTube shorts. If you guys want to show me a little extra love or you just want to make sure I see your comment, don't forget you can also hit that super thanks button down below. You guys can also check out all of my merch over at my merch store at houseofhill.com. Also, you guys don't forget we have our live happy hour hang tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on my channel, so make sure you tune in. And on that note, you guys, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.